welcome to another edition of the Talking About Cars podcast. I'm Randy Cardoon, coming at you from the basically the Cardoon Cave, or Bat Cave, if you will, here as we have an opportunity to go into a new episode. What we're going to do here is, first off, we're going to have part two of our interviews we had from the Orphan and Discontinued Car Show. That was in Tacoma some time ago, and we already gave you a few cars from that. Also, we're going to have a few more cars from that. And then we're going to run out to the Binford Field of Dreams. That's located on the way to Kent, Washington, near Auburn, where we talked to Tracie McKinnon, who runs a rather fun Facebook page, Drive 'em If You Got 'em, and that is her page. And she also highlights not only car shows, but she highlights other shows in the schedule. So if you're looking up here, at least, for the car show that you want to go to, chances are you're going to find it on her Facebook page. But some changes are coming for her, and you're going to find out more about that when we get to her segment. But first, let's start it off. Let's head over to Tacoma for part two of our Orphan and Discontinued Car Show. Cue 'em!
So my dad bought the car in 1955. He drove it, and then my two older sisters drove it. And it ended up in our barn for a number of years and fell into disrepair. By the time I turned 16, we got it out and got it repaired enough that I could drive it through high school, parked it during college, and then started fixing it up after I got out of college in 1979. And I drove it as my daily driver for a number of years, mostly original condition. And then we've redone it twice since, once in 1990, and then the most recent was a total frame-off. We started over 2015 to 2018. So all the original parts were there with all the running gear, the motor, transmission, rear end, suspension's all new.
So was this a cool ride when you were in high school? In other words, the perception among your fellow students, was it a cool car or just a curiosity car?
I think it was a curiosity car, and it was in pretty bad shape back then. But people remember it. I just ran into a friend from high school I hadn't seen since high school, and I graduated in 73, at a car show, and he remembered the car and came over and started talking, and he lives in Olympia where I live, got reacquainted, and so it's people remember it.
Oh, they do. That's very cool. What do you like about the car? Is it the fact that it's family connected? What is it about it that you really get into?
Yeah, just all the family connection and so many fond memories from all the years, and my kids growing up going out in it, and just is a lot of fun. You know, great time and great memories.
How hard was this to restore? Because you have pictures here. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, it was a lot of work. We did basically everything. Took it down to bare metal, started over on the motor and transmission, running gear, new top. Fortunately, it was fairly intact, so I had the parts, but everything had to be re-chromed and redone because it was in bad shape.
Anybody tell you at the time, Brian, you're crazy? What are you thinking? Why would you do that?
Yes, why would you spend that much money on a car? more than one person.
Uh-huh. Your dad or your mom, most likely?
No, I think they were happy about it. They were thrilled that I kept it, and my dad has passed, but he knew that I kept it and redid it, and so he was very happy about that.
The way it came out, what's the thing you like most about it?
Oh, just the fun nature of it, for a great summer car to put the top down and take the grandkids for a ride, and just a lot of fun.
What's a good car story that you have from driving this thing around since it's been built or before?
Well, before, my grandparents lived in a little town called Union, Oregon, and I went over to visit them in this car with my best friend, and he said, oh, there's two girls walking along the sidewalk there that he knew, but he wanted to go visit with them, so he did. And one of them happened to be my wife now. And so we met her driving through this little town. And he said, well, I want to date her friend, so why don't you call and set up a double date? So I did. And the rest is history. We're still married. And in fact, we're having our 50th wedding anniversary in 2 weeks.
Very cool. Congratulations. That's really neat.
Yeah,
did she like the car originally, or did it take a while to kind of grow on her?
Oh, I think it probably took a while. It was not in very good shape when we went on our first date in it, and it ran, but it was not in very good shape at that point. But she's very fond of it.
As far as finding parts for it, how hard was it to find parts?
Way back when I first started working on it, it was just impossible. I went to junkyard after junkyard after junkyard to find parts. Fortunately, it was mostly there, but it was really hard. And in later years, they're starting reproducing some of the things that are missing. Like I was able to get new rubber and gaskets and everything to when we rebuilt it, and reproduction hubcaps, things like that. So they're making a few things now that they didn't make years ago when I started working on it.
Did you ever get into working on any other cars, or is it just this was basically your baby?
Well, this is my one and only. Yeah, just one car for me.
Very cool.
It's a 1961 Morris Minor convertible, Morris Minor 1000. I bought it in 2018 in Beaverton, Oregon, and then we completely restored it.
Why a Morris? Why did you decide to go for a Morris?
When I was a kid, my mother, the town I grew up in, there was a doctor that had a Morris convertible, and my mom fell in love with the car. And so my dad managed to find a Morris Minor in Portland, a 1961 sedan or saloon, and he bought it for her. And we didn't have a lot of money when I was a kid, so he painted it in the garage and never did anything else to it. And I can still remember going up and down the hills in Vancouver, being able to see the road from the drain holes because there was no floor mats. And the car was very distinctive.
Drain holes on the bottom of the car?
In the floorboards, yeah. So my dream car when I was growing up was always a late 60s Camaro convertible. But I started losing her to dementia in about 2015. And the farther away she drifted, the more I realized what I really wanted was a Morris Minor convertible, because she didn't want to sell the car. We had to sell the car because you just didn't keep cars back in the 70s like that. And, you know, she loved that car. So I bought it in 2018 after she died as in memory of her. So, and I didn't know the convertible story till after I bought the convertible. And so when I got in to test drive it, it smelled like her car, it sounded like her car. I was 8 years old again, sitting in the seat of her car. And it just makes me feel close to her. It's a lot of fun, it's unique, it's different. People think it's a Volkswagen Beetle quite often, hence the license plate, not a VW. And it's just a fun little car. So, yeah.
It smells like the car smells you remember, or does it smell like her?
No, it smells like the car I remember, yeah.
I was going to say, did you put her perfume in there and try and take the extra step?
Oh, no, it smelled like her car, yeah. So that brought back that memory. And
When you guys bought this car, did you try to consciously angle it toward designing it like the car you remember she had, or is this just completely different?
it's completely different. The one she had was a hardtop, a saloon, two-door. It was green. My husband and I went back and forth for a long time on colors and kept coming back to the maroon. We just really liked that color combination. So no, it's completely different from her. And it has floor mats.
Well, that's good, because I keep thinking about that. You could actually see through. How big were these drain holes, and could you actually see the floor or the ground?
Oh, yeah, they're probably, about that big around. And yeah, you could watch the road going by because it sits so low. And I just remember as a kid sitting there watching the road through the little holes in the floor. And the joke was always, would we make it up the hill? So,
Well, that's cool. You also have the English. I don't know. That's not really is it a license plate with your mom's name on it. But what exactly? How'd you get that?
there's a company online. I ordered it and they customized it. So yeah, that's how I got that. Yeah, yeah.
Do you belong to a Morris Car Club or anything like that?
I belong to the North American one, so she's on the registry. And other than that, no. I mean, I just and I get a newsletter once a month from.
Tell me about the feeling of going to a show like this, because this is specifically for what you're doing. It's a show for discontinued and orphan cars, if you will. But when you take this car to other shows, I'm assuming there aren't that many of these floating around, and if there are, it's kind of like a wow, look at that. We all got to go look.
Yeah, I've done a couple other car shows and never seen a Morris. I get a lot of people that still think she's a VW. One day we were actually driving her on Bridgeport, and a guy pulled up next to us in one of those little dune buggies, the VW dune buggies, and he calls over to us and he says, "Do you have a manual?" And I said, "No." And he said, "Well, I've got one at home." And so we met him, and he ran home and got this manual and gave it to us because he used to have one. So it's fun running into people that know what the car is.
So the guy showed up, yelled at you about manuals, and the next thing you know.
On Bridgeport, yeah. So we were just driving. We were driving over to 19th Street, and yeah, and he showed up with a manual for us. We hung out in the parking lot and waited for him. But it is fun to talk with other people who understand them or know them. And so, yeah. But I don't see. In fact, I haven't seen any really around here since I brought her home. Sometimes you find once you get something, you see a million of them once you get one. So, yeah, but she's unique.
What's one of the aspects of this car that you like and people really notice?
Probably the convertible, and a lot of people who've never seen one spend a lot of time trying to figure out how I modified my Volkswagen Beetle to look that way, and I have to explain to them that it's not a Beetle and it's a totally different English car. But I think it's different, and it's kind of like a bug-eyed Sprite. It just makes you smile because it just has a cheerful front end. So.
I would take it you understood your wife's interest in preserving memories of mom and that kind of stuff. Tell me a little bit about when you guys came across this and you found it. Tell me how that story went.
Yeah, absolutely. I believe at the time I was fishing. Wasn't I fishing when you found it? I thought I was.
4th of July weekend. Our son, funny story, he was in jail that weekend because he'd blown up a porta potty. Well, he was with two kids that blew up a porta potty, and he got caught with them. So he was in jail because it was a terrorist offense, apparently.
Is this the funny part, or is okay? Just checking. Okay.
Nobody was hurt.
Okay.
Absolutely nobody was hurt. That's why it's funny. And so I was home trying to just hold it all together, and I was looking at Morris Miners online on cars.com. They had a vintage car section, and I found this Morris, and so started going back and forth with the guy. But it was we had to bail him out of jail on the 3rd, and then I drove down on the 5th and bought the car.
Yeah, so she drove my truck, grabbed my truck, which I've got an F-250, so she could throw a flatbed onto that and head down to Oregon with one of her friends, and down they went. But she was so excited to be able to get it. Of course, then she's there, and she's like, okay, the car's here. Now I got to make a decision. And so I'm like, well, we got to see what's underneath it. So see if you can crawl around underneath there, see what the frame looks like, and they were FaceTiming me, so I was looking at the frame as well, making a determination, trying to help her, yeah. And it looked good at the time. Of course, you look for.
They always do. They always do.
Yeah. So some of it was covered up, obviously, but.
Well, the frame legs, because they have no drains, the old ones, the originals, they'd rust from within, so you wouldn't know till they broke.
Are you a car person from the beginning, or did you become one when you got this car?
I became one when I got this car because the first person that I enlisted to do restoration, it just went horribly wrong from start to finish. So when we got the car back and it wasn't done, we went up to Rob Gruyere at Double M Garage in Port Townsend, and so everything looked great, and then he put it up on the lift and did a little poking, and there was a shower of rust from the frame legs, which fortunately they didn't break while I was driving it, So between that and the transmission, and so she's kind of like a new car.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Okay, I got the car in Tennessee. It's got a 5.7 Hemi with a 5-speed automatic in it, and it's painted a midnight forest green, 20-inch wheels. Just a real nice cruiser, top down or up. The wife loves it. And I've just been working on it and owning it for the last, probably 10 years.
Why this car? Were you searching for it, and how did you come up with it in Tennessee?
Because that's where I found it. I was looking actually for a hardtop, and I found this convertible, and I thought, that looks different. So.
And it seems a lot of Plymouths are in Tennessee, or this showed up in the want ads, or what?
Yeah, this showed up online, and I sent somebody down there to take a look at it, and got a report on it, and bought it.
Now, you did some things to it, obviously. Let's talk a little about that.
Well, there's no chrome on the sides. They used to have chrome that ran all the way up the top, down the sides, back, and then a bunch of other needless chrome. And so that all came off when it was
Well, that's
painted.
an American thing. Needless chrome is just basically America right then and there.
Yeah. Well, I thought this looked better without the chrome. So, and the suspension is all stock. And other than the added new engine and transmission, it's all basically stock.
Where did the 5.7 come from?
Uh,
Or was it in there when you bought it?
it was in there when I bought it.
Oh.
It had the 5.7 in it, yes, along with the automatic. So
You've driven cars this age before. How does the 5.7 function under this vehicle as opposed to others you've tried?
a lot more trouble-free. This is a fuel injected engine. You just hit the key and it starts, and you can drive up and down the road. You don't have to worry about it overheating, and so it's a lot nicer than the earlier Plymouths I had.
This design and all that, what's so fun about having this car?
Mostly, it's a very comfortable to drive. My wife really likes riding in it. It's a little bit larger car than I normally drive, but that also helps for the ride too. So
How hard was it to get used to having a bigger car like this?
it takes a little bit of time when you're going down a narrow street or in a car show, or like coming through those curbs right there. It's a little nervous about the rubbing the wheels.
Our guests, there are two local car peeps here in Washington responsible for keeping classic car owners in the know for local car events and publicizing others. And as you know, from wherever you're watching this from, everybody has somebody like this, but I'll tell you something, it seems to be a heroic effort what they do here with what they have going on as far as the ability to find places to publicize all these car shows. So let's bring them in right in the middle there, the one, the only, Tracie McKinnon from Drive 'Em If You Got 'Em on YouTube. Facebook. Applause. You grew up here in this area?
I did. My former husband and I used to go to car shows and the SIR, as it was known then. We'd go up there. I've been around cars for a while. At the point where I was married to him, I had a 66 Ford Falcon, a 67 Pontiac Tempest. He had a 70 Impala, 73 Impala when he got done with it. 73 Mustang Fastback. I mean, yeah, it's all about cars. And my husband now, we've been married for 35 years. He had a 64 Impala SS when we met.
You've
And
moved up.
that is my dream car.
You've moved up. I'm just saying, from some of the cars your first husband had to this guy, you've moved up in the echelon there. There you
Yep.
go.
Now we
Okay.
have the 66 Buick and loving life.
All right, very good. By the way, am I allowed to ask you about what happened to your 66 Buick?
Um,
By the way, this is one of those tales you get where you think, oh, I can, you're offered this opportunity to do what she's about to tell you all the time. In fact, I was at that car show and I thought the same thing, and I did it and got away unscathed.
It's in triage.
Yeah. So go ahead and explain.
So we went to, Lonnie and I were both at this Hot Rods for Heroes car show at Patriot Landing in DuPont. And they have one of the features out there. It is revving your car up. Lonnie has won this a couple years in a row. His 47 is a noisemaker. So I'm parked right next to him. What is Tracie gonna do? Oh, she's gonna join Lonnie. Dumb, dumb mistake on my part. And afterwards. So we go to leave and my power steering is shot. Pull out on the roadway. I have my oil light is on. I'm like, what the heck is going on with my car? So took it to the guy that's working on my car. Thank you, Sean Shea.
You forgot about me coming to
Oh, yes,
rescue you.
yes, that's
To
right.
put the fan back, or to put the belt back on the power
Yeah,
steering.
Lonnie, the oil is shut. There's no oil pressure.
Well,
There's a plug in the radiator and my idler arm is off.
okay.
know that this
It's
all happened.
broken.
Lonnie, you probably know this. When did they start putting plastic timing chains in cars?
It's not the plastic, there's a tensioner, there's rubber.
Oh, okay.
The tension's,
Ah,
So what you're
That-
saying
that
is
rubber.
her car was very tense.
Yeah, well,
You put your car into a
the rubber
tense situation, and that's what happened.
yeah.
Okay, I got it.
Yeah, driving from DuPont to Sumner was a tense situation for me because it's like, just get me home. And I apologized to my car so many times. I will not do this to you again.
She apologized to her car. Okay, well, no, I understand that. Lonnie, tell us a little bit about your background.
I bought my hot rod 6 years ago. Actually, his birthday was just
Ooh.
the 24th of July. I've had my hot rod 6 years.
Uh-huh.
I was into horses and all this other stuff before that. So, and I built hot rods back when I was a kid, up till I was like 30 years old.
Okay.
Got married, kids, girls, and blah, blah, blah. Got into horses in 4-H. Finally got smart, sold all those horses, bought me another hot rod. Basically born and raised around here, was born in Renton. Actually, the field we're standing on doing this, I used to hay this when I was 10 years old.
Oh, really?
I lived here. My aunt used to own all of it.
Wow.
So
Okay.
this is home to me, you know. So but as far as the cruises and stuff, Tracie would drive them. She joined me with BTN about 4 years ago. Her knowledge is so, she's taught me everything I know about all this stuff. I never really went to cruises and different things before. So she has taught me everything here that I know about all of this. The information is just, there's so much information out there with car shows
Done?
and what she has done. You can go on her site and find pretty much every show from Bellingham to Portland, from Spokane to the ocean, of what's going on in Washington State. BTN's been around for about 5 years. A couple guys, it's about 7 of us guys started it.
And BTN stands for
Better than nothing. Our cars
better,
are better
than nothing.
And
So it's an optimism car club. Is what it is. Yes. Okay.
no drama. We don't do no drama, no nothing. We're a real laid back car club.
Okay.
No dues. You know, you come, I call it it's our BTN sitting bull. We all gather up. There's about 30, 40 of us at a time. We circle up lawn chairs and talk about cars. And well, we talk about Tracie too, but it's mostly cars.
Uh-huh.
So, but she has been the inspiration for me to carry this on and do. I like what I'm doing with this because of Tracie and what she's taught me on how to do this, how to use my cell phone, how to use the computer, you know.
Yeah.
And she showed me how to do all this stuff. So I'm getting pretty good at it. I'm not as good as she is at all, but still, she runs BTN too, just as much as I do.
Which is interesting because that means she runs not one but 2 sites.
Well, exactly.
What? You don't believe in competition?
Well,
Well, four sites?
Well, there's drive them if you got them business.
Right.
Drive them if you got them group.
Right.
Rusty's BTN.
So you technically live here in Washington, but now I just noticed that this morning is you have a ride them if you got them Oklahoma site.
Mhm.
Why do you have an Oklahoma site?
I have my oldest daughter and son-in-law that live there, and they are massively into classics. She has forgive me, Sabrina, a 66 Chevy pickup named Barney. And then Kyle has a 68 RSSS Camaro.
Okay.
Then he has like a 90 something Trailblazer, I think. Yeah, so that family is big into it. And my daughter's step family is also there, and they are big into car shows.
Okay.
It's where I want to move. So
So
if I move there,
eventually
I wanna
you're
know where
going.
all the car shows
So
are.
eventually you're going to Oklahoma.
Yep.
Okay. While that may be big news to you if you're part of the club or don't know, now you do.
and it's all gonna be dumped in my lap, and I'll screw it up big time. First of all, Tracie is the only girl.
Yeah.
In our club.
And
Well,
how
we
many
knew
people?
Mary, but
Well,
I was the only
besides
girl
Mary,
at the
yeah,
time.
she was the only girl at the time.
I see. How many
So-
people are in BTN right now?
Plate holders is 52, I believe.
But there's
Plate holders, it says-
650 group members.
So how many plate holders are there?
52, I believe.
That's right, because here in Washington, when you have your classic plates on the back, you don't have to have plates up front. So Lonnie went ahead and made a BTN plate.
So we were sitting there just BSing like normal. Since I'm the only girl in the group, I'm the only one that got,
We treat her like one of the guys. She's one of the guys
Yeah.
to us.
but I'm the only one that has boobs
And brains.
and brains, and they've added balls to the mix because I kind of don't put up with a lot of crap.
No, she doesn't.
Uh-huh.
And
Jesus.
if I see something, hear something, I will go to the source and ask them, is this what's going on? And yes, I've gotten some bad feedback from it.
So basically, you're the human TMZ of Washington.
Yeah, pretty
Is that
much,
what you
yeah,
are?
yeah.
Yeah, okay.
That works.
I don't let anyone else get crapped on. You know, if you're talking bad about this person, I'm going to go to you and ask you, is this going on? Why?
Well, our
We don't need to
club,
be treated that way. We're a great car community.
we don't put anybody down. We don't discriminate. We don't judge anybody.
What was your first car?
My first car was probably the 66 Ford Falcon.
Okay,
3-speed on the tree.
okay. And how did you get that?
Um,
Where did it come from?
it
What's
came
the-
from Puyallup somewhere. Came from a GI that went out to Fort Lewis. For some reason, my former husband saw it, got it for me, and I didn't know how to drive a stick at the time. So I learned on that car.
Okay.
Didn't really hurt anything.
Necessity sometimes is the mother of invention. I don't know where I read that. Maybe I made it up. I don't know. Okay.
It was.
All right. Very good. Lonnie, what was your first car?
My first car, I got two of them. I had two 55 Ford Crown Victorias. One ran, one was for parts, and I got them for haying, baling, and stacking this hay off of this field in the barn that used to be right over there,
Oh, wow.
right off of this property right here.
So was the car
It was
here
it was
too?
my aunt's, yeah, my aunt's car.
But it was here
Yeah, and I was 10 years old at the
on this
time.
very field.
This very field.
Wow.
Wow.
Those are my first two cars.
I think you owe me a Coke. Okay. All right. Wow. That's interesting. I did not know that.
And I said, I've had cars since I was 10.
Uh-huh.
Those are my first two.
You had a car when you were 10.
Yeah, those two cars when I was 10 years old.
So when did you drive a car for the first time?
And
Seriously?
right up and down this road out here.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I was a big kid back in those days. I was,
How long have you had that Vega?
It was about 90.
Was it like that when you bought it? What did it look like when you bought it?
4-cylinder, 4-speed in it.
Oh,
It was stock,
okay.
which is not stock now.
No, it doesn't appear to be stock at all.
Good friends with Mr. and Mrs. Binford and the family.
Okay.
We started coming down here when the very first time they opened it was a dirt. There was no grass out here. Been supporting him ever since. I got a 1930 5-window coupe, Pro Street. Got a go-kart that matches it to the T. I'm the go-kart guy, I guess. Started out with one cart. Now there's 9 of us that do Good Guys together.
Oh, very good.
But yeah, I'll do the Binford Friday cruise religiously, whether my car's running or not. I'll hook the go-kart trailer to my Toyota and bring it down just to support the field.
I'm Randy Cardoon. We'll see you next time on the Talking About Cars podcast. So long, everybody.
One of the things I've told people, meet people in the Binford field, you meet the nicest people, and she is at the top of my list as one of the nicest ladies I've met in this field.
Okay. Very nice.
Yeah.
You know,
$20 is in the mail.
I was gonna say it's not like she's standing right there as
Right.
you're doing this.
Yeah.
She is, but
Yeah.
that's all right. We'll just keep on going.